What's going on, everyone? Sean here with Triangle of Truth, and I am back with a very big Hall of Comics video. I've got a rather large stack of stuff to share with you guys. I'm excited to share it. I'm excited to read all of it. Spoiler alert, there are a few of these that I have read, and I'll be sure to point that out as I'm going through these. Bunch of single issues, a lot of cool new gamble picks for number ones for me, picked out by Jenna and everyone at the shop. And then I've got 3 trades. So let's just jump right into it. The very first one is a number one that I have been excited for a long time. Ever since Scott Snyder announced it, did the Kickstarter for it that I unfortunately missed out on. Luckily, it is now out through Image, available at your local LCS, and that is Noctura number 1. You have to check this out. Scott does amazing work. Image does amazing work. It's a story that when I read everything on Kickstarter, I was very excited to check it out. I can't wait to dive into it. So if you've read it, let me know in the comments. Let me know if you liked it or not. But I just know I'm super excited to read this. The next one is a number 2. One that on the last haul video I did, actually, I talked about. And that is Fear Case number 2. I did read number 1, and all I can say is that it's Matt Kent. It's amazing. Issue 1 got me in hook, line, and sinker. I am ready to jump into this and now really see where the story is going to go. This next one, I decided to get back a little bit to my roots with a couple of these picks this week. I'm a big DC guy, much more so maybe than Marvel as far as comics go. I love both, but when it comes to what drew me more to comics, it was probably DC first, outside of Daredevil and whatnot from Marvel. So I have DC's Crime Syndicate number 1, Welcome to Earth 3. I'm very excited to get back in, give DC some love, because I know a lot of the stuff that they've been doing recently, and now with this new Infinite Frontier, they're still, really kicking ass when it comes to their storylines and their big events that they've got going on. I can't wait to read this because I do love the Elseworld stuff where you get into these other Earths. So I'm very excited to read that and dive a little more into Ultraman. That's a character that I've actually been kind of curious about. So, yeah. Next one is from another favorite company, AWA Upshot. It's called Chariot number 1. No lie, I actually do not know at all what this is about, but that's okay. I'm here to read it. I'm here to love it. I kind of get a Miami Vice vibe from the cover, but maybe a little more modern on it, so definitely excited to jump into that. Next one is from Boom Studios, and this is called Dune House Trades. I think that's how I pronounce it. There's a cover for you guys. Hopefully you can see it and everything. Again, like I said, most of these I'm not really sure what they're about, but it's one of those cover look great. I grabbed it off the rack, so we're going to go with that, see how it goes. This next one is The Possessed. And I'm actually, let me show you the cover real quick so you can see that. Looks really cool. Not really sure, I can't remember what company published it. Let me find out live on camera real quick because I cannot remember who published this and whatnot. This is, Clover Press. Okay, so new company for me on that one. Very excited. Again, the cover of this, actually, the comic feels really cool. So it's one of those satin finish covers that I like. Next one, back to DC again. We have Suicide Squad number 1. Really cool looking cover there. I cannot wait to dive into this. I love Suicide Squad. We all love Suicide Squad. Very curious to read it, just to see where we're going. Alright, so next one, Source Point Press. Love these people. Love everything they're doing. This one seems like it's going to be lighthearted and fun. That's really why I grabbed it, because I always got to have something that's a little fun, even if it brings out the kid in you. So this is called Claim of Iron Vice. That's a really cool looking cover there. Hopefully you can see it. I think it's pretty kick-ass. I've been seeing a lot of this one, at least as far as, being advertised and whatnot, so I I have to check it out. The cover looks really cool. The big angry dude with the blue eyes is something that, you know, that's kind of what caught my eye on it. So I had to grab it. Alright, so this next one is a big gamble pick from Dark Horse. Jenna grabbed this one. Part of the reason why we got this is Patton Oswalt. We all know the actor. Funny as hell. Great characters. I've loved a lot of his work over the years. So he wrote a comic. And it is Black Hammer Visions. Definitely excited to read it. Black Hammer is, I think, one of the real big universes or characters in the Dark Horse catalog. So I'm actually kind of curious to read. I've never really read anything from the Black Hammer universe. So this would be kind of a foray into it, if you will. Next one. This was, again, another gamble pick, but one of those where the cover is so cool on this. You have to grab it anyway. And it's from Source Point Press. It's called The Eighth Immortal. This is number 1. Get a good look at that cover. Very, very excited to check this out. Source Point has been doing pretty good when they get into stuff where, at least from the cover, it looks like it's just mythical and whatnot. And I think they do a pretty kick-ass job in that genre of things. So I'm very, very excited to dive into it. Next one. I apologize. I'm kind of going fast because there is so much here. This next one, this is cool because it's kind of a celebrating 25 years from IDW. So, and this is Transformers Beast Wars. Anybody who's been a big Transformers fan remembers the Beast Wars stuff. So, and literally everything that they've been doing with Transformers, for instance, the Transformers Terminator crossover they did. If you haven't read that, holy crap, you need to. That is so good. But then they did like Transformers, My Little Pony. So now we get back into some of the traditional stuff. You know, Transformers Beast Wars. I am excited to check it out and see what they've got. Alright, moving along. We have Aftershock. You know Aftershock. You know how good they are. This one is called Shadow Doctor. Again, not really sure what it's going to be about. Excited though. Looks like, well, I can't say it looks like it. It says it on the cover. It looks like we're going to have some fun in Chicago. Never been there. Want to visit that city so bad. So if you've been there, let me know in the comments how cool it is. Alright, so actually I was wrong. So there's like 4 trades in here. This next one is Marvel. I got this trade. It's not a new one, but I got this trade because when it comes to artists, we've all talked about some of our favorites. For me, Clayton Crane is one of my absolute, if not my favorite, comic artist on the planet. And surprisingly enough, I've got a couple of books with covers that he's done, but I've not had a whole book where it's his art. So I had to pick it up, not to mention just yeah. So it's Venom and Carnage, or Venom Carnage. And this entire book is done by him. And all I can say after just scrolling through it, I knew Venom and Carnage, it was just going to be good. Because Marvel, when it comes to these two together, it's always magic. Now I get a whole book of Clayton's art. And needless to say, just skimming through it, every page for me is going to be a visual treat. I'm going to enjoy this book maybe more than any other Marvel book just for that reason. I'm super excited to dive in and get a whole book of Clayton's art. Alright, so this next one is from Kaboom, which if I remember right is kind of like the all ages or kid friendly of Boom Studios. If I'm wrong about that, let me know in the comments. But it's called Orcs Number One. This I actually have read. And again, this was a pick because it's lighthearted, it's fun, and it really is. It's hilarious reading through this thing. You know, it's a nice breakaway from a lot of comics being very, you know, serious or gory, horror. You're super, you know, now you get something that's lighthearted and fun. So definitely recommend that for anybody who just wants that kind of change of pace, and for your kids. This is very fun to read. So definitely check it out. Alright, so this next one. I actually have both of them probably in here somewhere, but I don't have them together. Shame on me. But my favorite ongoing, you all know about it, 2020. I probably drove you nuts talking about it so much, but it's Something Is Killing the Children, number 14. Super excited. Love it. The series has still never let me down. They've always done well. Even the issues that kind of seem slower have a reason, because the next issue really draws into what they were setting up. So it's, again, just absolutely killer. Alright, next one is one that I have also taken the time to read before doing the video. But this was one that all of us here on Triangle of Truth were excited to check out. So we got it, and it's Radiant Black #1. And I gotta say, the writer and the artist that did this, you can tell it seems Power Rangers inspired, and they even say that in the back of the book. But what they're doing with how the character got the powers and what the powers seem to stem from, this is going to be super, super cool. I cannot wait to get my hands on #2 and just keep going. It's going to be amazing. I am so excited. If you haven't got it, get to your local LCS, get you a copy of #1 and add it to your pull box. Cannot recommend it enough. Alright, so this next one is another one again that I have read. It's from Aftershock. This is one that, for me, I think this is going to be one of my big thrillers that I'm going to enjoy for the entirety of 2021. And that is Maniac of New York. This is stemming around a serial killer that is running rampant in New York and New Jersey. So far, they've only shown the character twice. I will say this, it is definitely, on the parts where the character is in there, it's gory. It starts out, the only spoiler I'll give you, it starts out, the first couple pages is New Year's Eve of 2016, he kills 79 people in Times Square, New York. And it's holy crap. So definitely check it out if you're into these kind of thriller, murder, mystery type deals. Alright, next one, going back to a company that, in all honesty, I don't give enough love a lot of times, and I should, because literally everything I've read over the past like 5 or 6 years since I started reading comics, I have never been let down by them. It's from Syndicate, and this is the Courier. This is one where I actually had, I believe, a #1 of a different run of this, or it might be the same run, but it's a very cool series. Definitely one I'd recommend checking out, and if there's a trade, pick that up as well. This next one. So I said I didn't get them together. Shame on me. Well, here it is. Something Killing the Children, #15. This is, again, part of the reason why I've got so many single issues is I want to try to make this kind of like the first comic collection that I have just all the singles. Normally I do like 1, maybe 2 issues in a trade. But I decided for this one, I really want to try and get all the singles. So I've got 6 through 15. I've got #1, a very badass #1 cover that was given to me for Christmas as a gift. Now I've just got to find issues 2 through 5. And basically then now I'll have the entire collection. So, but yeah, this is kind of one of those where that's going to be at least the one series where I decide to have everything individually. Alright, so these next two, I'll show them kind of back to back real quick. It's another series from Image that I've really personally been enjoying since I think it came out very end of last year, or it's been coming out almost weekly since the beginning of this year. That's Stillwater. You need to read this series. It is so cool, so good. That's the cover of #5. And then here's the cover of #6. Sorry about the lighting, guys. I'll do a better job next time. I'll probably just take everything out of the wrapping so it's not so shiny. But again, another series that I've thoroughly been enjoying ever since reading #1. And it's just one of those, the mystery just keeps getting deeper. And that's what keeps hooking me in. Alright, so this next one, if you remember my last haul video I did from an online sale, I had the #1 of this comic. Well, I read it and I loved it. I went back to my local LCS this week in person, and they actually had #2 on the shelf. So that is, it's from Black Box Comics. It's Shi no Kage. And again, ancient Japanese culture, samurai, that is my jam. I absolutely love this kind of stuff. So Gotta do it. You had to get it. Alright, so this next one literally was, I don't know anything about it, but when you walk in and everyone at the comic book store says, I really, really want to read this. It looks so good, blah, blah, blah. Well, okay, so I grabbed it. And this is called Cthulhu Invades Oz. It's a full trade. So this is not a single book. This is a full-on, to the balls to the wall, cannot wait to read it graphic novel. There's a lot of these cool little spin-off Oz stories that I've been seeing from different people. And I love it because Oz was one of those lands where you could really do a lot of things with it. And it's nice to see, how that works and whatnot. So I'm excited to read it. This next one is a trade that I've actually had my eye on for a little while. And so I decided to go ahead and grab it. And it's called Bone Parish. It's volume 1. And again, it's one of those, the cover thing is something I want to read, but the synopsis on the back, it talks about there's a new drug sweeping through the streets of New Orleans, and it's one made from the ashes of the dead. So just based on those first 2 lines, that this should be pretty cool. Not to mention skimming through it, it's going to be a nice, dark, cool story as is. Anything, for whatever reason, that they tend to do when it comes to stuff taking place in like New Orleans and stuff like that. So next, and the last trade of everything that I've got in this haul was one that I saw it, and I actually spotted the soft cover trade at first and knew I had to have it. Well, as I kind of skimmed down the rack a little more, there was a hardcover, and if I can get a hardcover, really cool edition of a trade, I'm going to get it. So this is called Klaus. This is going to be a really, really fun, badass story about the origins of Santa Claus. I can't wait. And not to mention just the book itself, as you can see, I mean, just fun. It's so cool. Even the pages are kind of outlined in gold, as you can see, shining here on the camera. So this is definitely worth every penny just for the quality of the book, but even skimming through it, this is not going to be the typical fun kid origin of Santa Claus, and I'm excited about that. Yeah. So, before I just lose my train of thought. So that is literally everything I've got, guys. Let me know, of course, what you guys have picked up from your local LCS. Have you picked up some of what I've got and read it? Let me know what you think. Of course, anything new that I don't have, let me know, because it's definitely something that I will go check out. As always, stay safe, stay healthy. I'll catch you guys next time. Later, everyone.